I'm gonna screenshot that and send that to corporate so everybody in corporate sees how committed you are. Actually,
Right?
I'm gonna send it to Erica and say, Erica, I have never seen you on a corporate sweatshirt.
Every time I do a webinar, I use my store title sweatshirt or t-shirt or something, you know?
Okay, there you go. Representing. We gotta be proud of what we do. All right,
Right?
so we are live already on multiple platforms. I want to say happy Friday to everybody watching, and thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'm back over here trying to provide you some training, some education, something that you can learn and take into the field and be productive, make some money from it, right, Alex?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
so my co-host does, for a lot of you, doesn't need an introduction because if you've been to any association event on 2019, you saw Alex. There was no way that you now walk into any association event and didn't see Alex. It was just not possible, right? But maybe you didn't go to any association event and you didn't see Alex. So this is the part of the intro when I let my co-hosts introduce themselves and say something personal about them so people can connect with them. So Alex, muy buenos días. How are you today?
Buenos días, buenos días. So my name is Alex. Most of you already know me, or I probably know most of you already. So um, I'm a former trainer for the Miami Association of Realtors. I worked with the association for 5-6 years, and now I work with Stewart Title. Okay, so I'm a business developer now for Stewart Title. And you said something personal about myself.
Yes.
Something personal would be that I love traveling. So that would be like something personal. I've been probably like to 20 plus countries now.
20
So
plus countries.
yeah, I love traveling. And whoever knows me personally, I could find like these cheapest tickets ever. Like I went to Greece for $400 round trip. So
Did they give you a seat on the plane, or were you
right.
standing up the whole ride there?
Everybody tells me that.
So what was your last travel? What was the last place you went to?
My last place I went was actually before the pandemic. I went to Panama.
Okay.
My mom lives in Panama, so I went to Panama like for $120 round trip. So and I stayed for a whole week. Yeah.
Cool. No, there's a lot of great ticket deals right now. I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
very good, and things. I mean, I know this is the point of the training today is MLS IMAP grids and training. That's what we're gonna cover today. But before we get into that, I wanted to share with everybody listening two good things about our economy and going forward. So pending sales, which is the heartbeat of our industry, Miami Association pending sales are up year over year. We are at pre-pandemic numbers. So pending sales, kudos to everybody out there that made a sale in the middle of all of this. You guys are awesome. So pending sales are up as data that just came out from the Miami Association. And unemployment, which was supposed to be at 20%, came in at 12%.
Yeah.
So everybody, a lot of the people, and I mean, I've been saying this for a couple of months, a lot of people that got let go were temporary let goes and they're already being brought back. So unemployment, they were expecting a dismal 20% and it wasn't. And everybody's a whole energy in the country today, because that shows that things are recovering a lot faster than they were. So those are two good news for you to share and today. But today's training is Alex is going to show some tricks and tips with the IMAP and grids, and with MLS and grids, and with IMAP. But for everybody watching, because I see a lot of you are watching, make Alex go viral. Hit that little share button that you're looking at right now.
Oh my
Share
God.
this, just click right now, share, and let's take Alex viral. Alex, let me see your logo there so I can.
It's my logo. My logo.
There you go. You see, representing. Very proud. All right, my friend. So what are we going to teach us today?
So today we are going to cover, so I'm going to go into the MLS matrix and I'm going to show you how to move your grids, how to add fields, how to remove fields, some of the fields that you probably want to add to see some information when you are searching for properties. It will give you better access to the information. It will give you easiest access to the information. I'm also going to show you IMAP. So a couple of things of IMAP. So usually an IMAP class is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Like if we are face to face, it's 2 hours. It's definitely a 2 hour class. So today we have a whole an hour for, you know, matrix MLS and also for IMAP. So I'm going to show you just a couple of things in IMAP. Like you already know how to search for property most likely. So I'm going to show you like how to find list pendants or pre-foreclosure properties. I'm going to show you how to find a property where the owner occupied the property. So I'm going to show you how to print labels. I'm going to show you how to create a quick CMA and also a quick access to RPR using IMAP. So those are the things that we're going to cover. And of course, among other little things that you're going to find, like the telephone number of a property and stuff like that. But yeah, those are the quick things that I'm going to show you today.
So for everybody watching, I know Alex is going to cover a lot of information.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, how am I going to follow along? This is going to be recorded. This is going to be posted. This is going to be shared. Don't worry about it. You'll be able to you know, whenever you want to hear Alex tips, you'll be able to do it. All right, my friend, the screen is yours. I will just follow along and ask questions as we go along.
Perfect. And just to add, you know, if you guys have any questions or you have any concerns or there's something that you probably missed, you know, ask me a question or you can email me, alex.henry@stewart.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram, on Facebook. Just send me a message and we'll definitely talk about it. Okay.
We'll post your contact info in the chat. In a minute.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. All right. So let me share my screen now. So can you enable me to share my screen, please? Okay. Waiting. No? Okay. All right. So let me use this screen right here. All right. So this is Matrix. So you guys already know how to log in into Matrix. So let me just start by saying that I went through the Miami Association of Realtors gateway, and I click on the gateway. You enter your username and password. In this case, will be your license and your password. And once you are here, you go to Matrix. So most of you already know how to log in into Matrix. So I'm just going to start right from the home screen here in Matrix. Okay.
Okay.
So there are different ways that you can search for properties in Matrix. Most people just go to search and decide just to go straight into the type of property that you want to search, or you can also use this bar. Okay, if you decide that you want to use the bar, it's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. You know, A for active, and we could go to zip code 33, let's say 33023, price range of 400 to 700 with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's pretty simple to use the bar. If you are not comfortable using the bar, you could always go to search and select your property type here. All right. So I'm going to hit search or enter. And there is nothing for this price range here. So let's do 33329 43. Oh.
I think you logged into the commercial one. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I did something this morning here and it worked.
I think you logged into the commercial one.
Interesting. Let me go back here to the gateway matrix.
No, still the commercial one.
Yeah, still the commercial. There's no other one here. Let me see, because, well, the principle is still the same. So I'm just going to go here into commercial property, active. I'm going to do a price range here from...
If we're doing Miami, you got to go 500 to $1 million.
Okay, let's do 500 to $1 million. There you go. Let's see. No bedrooms, no bathrooms. It's still 5,000. It's fine. Let's do Broward County. There you go. Perfect. Let's do we have anything on Ventura? Nope. Let's do this. Let me remove this.
Put in Weston or Coral Springs. Beautiful. Okay, you got 80. Yeah. Wow, good.
Perfect. All right, so we got 80. Let me hit results. Now, keep in mind that it doesn't, what we're about to do, the grid, it doesn't matter in what property type you use. Doesn't matter if you use commercial, it doesn't matter if you use residential or residential income, rental properties. It doesn't matter the property type. You are still going to be able to do exactly the same thing, okay? Because today what we are going to learn is how to use this grid. How can we use this grid in order for us to view the information? So first here, this is your grid, right? You have the ability of moving this grid around. Let's say, Alex, you know what? I like to see the MLS number first and then the property type. I kind of want to see the address here. You know, the area, I don't really understand much about area, so I want to move the area over here because I don't need to see that. You have the ability of clicking. You click and hold next to the title. You see how I have like a little cross here.
Mhm.
You click and hold next to the title and you are able just to move it around. So this is pretty simple. This is pretty easy. You know, let's say,
But
Alex.
that's a wonderful tool because you get to put the data that you want up front and take whatever you don't want. Like you said, area. I mean, unless you were doing this back in the day when I was doing it, areas are, you know.
Exactly.
So that's a great little thing, and you know, you can always take it back to whatever you wanted to at the end.
Exactly. Let's say, Alex, you know what? I'm learning English right now. I kind of want to change this address thing because I work mostly with my Hispanic customers. You have the ability to say, you know what? Let me just change address to dirección. And then you hit apply, and now it's in Spanish. And you can do the same thing with most of them, or with all of them, actually. Let's say subdivision and complex. You click next to the title, and you said, well, you know, I don't want it to say subdivision and complex. I needed to say complejo. It's in Spanish, I think. Yeah. Complejo conjunto. And then you hit apply. So it's pretty easy just to change the name and the title of that particular column. Let's say, Alex, you know what some of the information that I would like to see will be the commission on the properties, right? So how can I add that particular column? You click next to the title of the column and you say, well, I need to insert a column. Okay, so let me just do that again. So you click here next to the title, and notice how when I click next to the title of any of the columns, automatically I'm going to see this information right here. I click insert column, and you are going to be able to see all of these fields. You can just try to search for it here, or you could say, well, you know what? I know the field that I want to add. In this case, I want to add compensation, right? So compensation to buyer's agent, and I hit apply. And now I'm able to see here the compensation for that property. Okay.
That is a great tip right there.
Right.
That if you tuned out after now, this is great because you can look at the results and you know you can see what property is paying what percentage and you know determine from there what you want to do.
Yeah. And then you say, well, Alex, you know what? Can I see the telephone number for this agent? Again, same procedure. You click next to the title of the column, you go into insert column, and you find telephone number. So you could do agent here. You have the email address. I have agent phone. And I click apply. And here I have it, the telephone number. You could do exactly the same thing for, you know, for association fee. You could do exactly the same thing for the name of the agent. You could do exactly the same thing for any field that if you enter a listing before, you are going to see all of the fields that you need to enter in order to have the listing, right? In order to make the listing active. So all of the required fields, you will always find the information here. Now, some of the fields are not required fields. So even if you decide to add that particular field, you might not see the information here. So for instance, let's say agent alternative phone number. You know, you might have a phone number here. You might not have a phone number here. You see how this one is empty because that's not a required field. Okay, so that's why we don't have the information here. Now you say, Alex, what happens if I decide to log out? So if I decide to log out right now, you will have to add these fields again once you log in. In order to avoid this, in order to avoid you having to add the fields every time that you log in, you will want to save this particular grid. Okay, you will want to save this particular template. The way that you save the template is on the upper right corner of the screen. You guys have here per page, and you are going to see two little icons. The first one here, manage display. You click on manage display, and you are going to see a couple of options. You have save changes, save as a copy, revert on save changes, or delete agent single line. So if I decide to click save changes, I'm going to save over the grid that I currently have. That's not what I want to do, because I'm creating this new template. I don't want to delete the one that I previously had, right? So I'm creating this template. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to say, well, this is going to be my, I don't know, my commercial grid. And then I click save as a copy. Now, every time that I log into Matrix, every time that I say, well, you know what, I want to view that grid, I want to see that template where I'm able to see my commission and the telephone number and the listing agent name, I go into display and I find the one that says my commercial grid. I click on it and it's going to display the information the way that I have it set up.
Well, that's fantastic, because if you're working with a specific buyer in a specific area, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, you can just save the grid under that buyer's name, and then you know that, you know, Pepito, you know, hey, this is my Pepito search, so I got all my info there. Yeah, that's a great. Like I said, that was worth the price of admission. That was worth the price of admission.
And you know, and another way of using it too is, you know, if you work with rental properties and you also work with buyers and you work with sellers and you work with condos and single family homes, and sometimes there is different information that you want to see from single family homes that you want to see from, you know, a condo. So you could create two different grids, one for your single family homes and one for your condos, or one for Weston and the other one for Coral Gables, because depending on the location, you probably want to see different information.
Of course.
Right? All right. Let's say you say, Alex, you know what?
Alex, let me ask you something. This is something I've been asked 3 times this week.
Okay.
Could you add a grid for 55 and over?
Yes, definitely. So if you click next to the title of the column, you go to insert column and the field HOPA. So you know why it doesn't appear? Yeah, because we are housing. Oh, there you go.
Ta-da!
There you go. And we're so used to saying HOPA.
Yeah.
So here you go. So notice how one thing that you probably want to notice is that we are so used to saying HOPA that that's the way I was searching for it, as HOPA. But when I searched for it, I had to search for Housing of Older Person Act, and that's how it appears. And now here it says, oh, HOPA. Okay, so you probably want to play a little bit with it, because you might say it some way, but you probably have to spell out the entire thing for you to find the specific fit. And then you say, Alex, you know what? I love my grid. This is the information that I always want to see. I don't want to have to, you know, search for that grid here, to click it, to view the information. Every time I search for something for properties, this is the way that I want to see the information at all times. Then you can make it your default, okay? You can make it your default, and on the upper right corner, next to manage display, right here, you are going to see like a little, you have like a little gear, like a little tuerquita. If you click it, you can set it as a default. You can set it as a default, and now every time that you search for properties in any area, this is going to be your default. You are going to be able to see HOPA. You are going to be able to see your commission. You are going to be able to see, you know, the listing agent's name. You are going to be able to see all this information. All right. Any questions so far? I think we have like a question on the chat or something.
If you can, yeah, I'm like replying. Can you search for properties with association or no association?
Can you? So, okay, so I'm gonna rephrase the question just to make sure that we have the right question. So, do you want to search for properties with association or no association, or do you want to display the information?
They want to, like, just like we added the HOPA no HOPA. They're asking if you can add association, yes, let's say, and then you know what, or association, no.
So, okay, so for association fee, you could add the fee, field, right? So let's say I'm gonna add both of them here. Association fee and association fee paid per month. Okay, there you go. So if I click here, I'll be able to see the association amount if it has an association, and if it's monthly or quarterly or annually, you'll be able to see association fee. Now, the way the question was made, I feel that it was made by how can I search for association fee if I have the ability of searching by the association fee, yes or no. So in that scenario, you'll want to go back to the criteria back here, and on the lower left corner, all the way to the bottom, you are going to see additional fields. And that's where you want to find the field for association. And what I usually do is that I do fee here, and I add the one that I want. Okay. Now, I don't believe we have association fee, yes or no. I believe that we have association fee, the amount,
yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's probably how you want to search for the association. But here is where you search for it, and on your results is where you display it, is where you see the information. So
it depends on what you want to do. He left the grid and it wasn't saved, right? The previous information. So now it reverted only to the one. No, it did save it.
It did save, yes. It did save it. Yes, it definitely did save. Because I didn't do anything on the search or the display. I just went to my criteria to modify my criteria, and it will still go ahead and display the information.
Got it. Great.
Yeah. All right. If you want to delete that grid, you simply have to go back here and decide, well, let me just delete my commercial grid because I no longer need it. I don't search for commercial anymore. I'm able to say, you know what? Let me just go ahead and delete that particular grid.
And you're back to normal.
I'm back to normal. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No, we've been answering as you're going along. But I mean,
okay.
those two tips, the move the columns around tip and search by commission or add any other search to your grid, that like I said, to me, that was worth the price of admission. Anything else that you throw in, there's going to be a bonus right now.
Anything else that I throw will be a bonus. Okay, so let's see. Well, a quick bonus here. Sometimes people ask me, Alex, I have 10 properties here. What if I only want to see a couple of the properties? What if I only want to see, let me make it 25. Let me make it 25. There you go. I have 25 properties here, and I like property 2, 4, 11, and 19. Those are the only properties that I want to see in my grid. So how can I see only these properties? On the bottom, you guys are going to see actions, refine, save, and carts. If you click on refine, you have the ability of saying, okay, let me just narrow this particular search to only these properties. And if I click on narrow, I will only see the properties that I selected. Okay. That's a little bonus here. If I want to go back to see my entire list, on the upper left corner of the screen, you guys are going to see arena results. You can always go back to your arena results and see your entire list again. So you have a bonus.
Nice.
All right, any questions about the grid? Or any other questions about matrix before I go into IMAP?
Come on, guys, now or never. Okay, Rosie has a question for you. The only way to find a property with, okay, so the section A, okay, Rosemary, the question you're asking, I'm gonna answer it off the. I'll call you after and speak to you.
Okay.
All rental properties have to accept Section A housing. Whoever does not accept Section A housing is violating housing rules, and it is a federal offense.
Right.
So any agent that tells you that I don't accept Section A housing is committing a crime.
Yeah.
So every landlord, only a landlord can make that decision, not an agent. Only the landlord can make that decision based on the landlord's criteria. But as a real estate professional, in Broward County was made a law, and I think Dade County also, you cannot discriminate and sexual orientation, gender, color, not age, or economy. So to discriminate on Section A is called discrimination. So
yeah,
if you come across an agent telling you that, you need to tell that agent, hey, call your MLS right now because you are committing a federal crime. You're discriminating.
Yeah, and probably they don't know, you know, so they probably don't know. So you probably want to let them know to get in contact with the association, get in contact with your broker, make
Yeah.
sure that you have the right information, because some of the agents probably don't know that information.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, you guys are lucky that you have Ernesto that gives you all this information all the time. So you know that this is what's happening here.
There's my plug. There's my plug.
All right, so that was Matrix, and of course, Matrix is way more than a grid. You know, the way that you save your searches, the way that you use your card, the way that you create a CMA. You know, we could cover a lot of information using Matrix because it's. I remember when we started using Matrix, we had ML Exchange, then Fusion, and then we went to Matrix. We created a curriculum for 3 different classes, 2 hours each, for us to be able to cover everything that Matrix entails. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me or text me.
There's one last question.
Yeah.
Could you add a short sale grid or an REO grid?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's Victoria asking if you can, if that's possible.
Hola, Victoria. Hi, Victoria. So here, if you want to insert a column here, you could just search by, you know, REO, and you click on it. So one thing here, now that I did it, make sure that you click on the field, because if you don't click on the field, well, I did this one. If you don't click on the field, it's not going to add it, okay? So you click apply, and now you have your field for REO right here. There you go. Same for short sale. Click next to the title of the column, click insert column, short sale, and you hit apply. And there you have it.
Yeah, that's so for all of you looking for opportunities in the market, this is a great tip that Alex just showed you. You can create a grid for your investors that you're working with. And then every morning you just get in, hit search, go back to your grid and see one new REO, one new short sale has hit the market. So you can present it to your investors. So you can thank Alex for that one.
All right, so moving on to IMAP. So one of the great things that you guys have in Matrix is that you have the ability of just clicking a couple of Realist or IMAP here. Realist and IMAP are basically, you know, they give you the same information. Some people love Realist, some people love IMAP. They give you the same information.
Yeah, Alex, I'm going to share with you. It's as hard as East Coast, West Coast. The division between the IMAP users
yes.
and those people that use Realist, it's like East Coast, West Coast. Man.
Yes.
You know, it runs deep. It runs deep. I got to tell you. You know, I'm an IMAP user through and through. I don't know what is realist. You know, like I'm a realist. You know, so
that does happen a lot. That does happen a lot. Somebody asked me about another important field is days on the market. Yeah, definitely. You hit DOM and you are going to see days on the market. Now, keep in mind that you have DOM here and you also have current days on the market. Okay, so depends on the one that you want to add. You just click on it, you click apply, and you are going to be able to see the current days on the market. Before it was ADOM. For those of you that used to do it before, ADOM, active days on the market. Now they're showing you to CDOM, current days on the market, and you are going to see it here, right?
So the Alvaro asked that question. That's a great question. Once again, if you're working with a buyer and you're looking to get the best deal for your client, if a property's been on the market like that one, 298 days, or the one below 413 days on the market, you know that property is either A, overpriced, or B, has some issues, but it could be an opportunity for you to make an offer on. So that's another goal. That's a really gold nugget right there. Thank you, Alvaro, for asking that question.
Yeah, that was an amazing question. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so IMAP. Forget about IMAP. I don't know what that is. So let's go to IMAP.
So let's go into IMAP. So IMAP is a great platform. IMAP gives you so much information. Here, the deal here is that you want to learn how to use IMAP. So one of the things here is that you have different type of searches when you do IMAP. So I'm going to start with the easiest one, which is tax search, and then we're going to go in through MLS search and then foreclosure search. So, okay, perfect. So tax search. So the difference here is that tax search will search, the county records, will search all the information from the county records and give you the most accurate information about a property. MLS search is like if you are searching properties inside of Matrix. So this will search properties that are in the MLS. That way you don't have to go back to the MLS to Matrix and search for properties and then come back here. You could just do that search right from here. And then you have your foreclosure search. So if you are searching for foreclosure properties, if you are searching for lease pendants, if you want to search for properties that are in auction, things like that, you have the ability of doing it here where it says foreclosure search. Now let's start with tax search. So I'm gonna make an easy search here. Let's say I'm gonna search for a property address here just because I want to see some information on the property. I search for 6321 Southwest 34th Street. This is in Broward County, and you don't have to enter the zip code. You don't have to enter the city. Now, here you have a county already. So even if this same address, even if you can find the same address in Dade, we are not going to be able to see it because the county that we are searching for is Broward County. So just keep in mind that here you have the ability of searching for any county in the state of Florida. Okay, and then I hit
pause right there. Everybody
yes.
watching, that was another gold nugget. You can have access data to sales data in any county in the state of Florida. So if you know anybody that wants to buy something in Alachua County, which I don't even know how to get there, but I know it is, because they want to move out of Miami because they want peace and quiet and gators, and they want to move to Alachua County, and they're asking you, hey, what are the comps on this subdivision? You can log into your IMAP, not Realist, and look at the comparable, look up the property and what comparable sales have taken place in Alachua County. So that, Alex, thank you for bringing that up.
You say Alachua. I don't even know where that is here.
So that is not in your trip and your planned trip?
No, not anytime soon.
You're not going to spend a weekend in Alachua County? Come on, Alex.
All right, so here, I'm gonna just click on Start Search, and we are here. So one of the things that we love about IMAP is that it gives you all the information in one page. It gives you all the information that you need right on the first page, right? So let's start from the beginning. Here you have the property information. I want you to notice that there is a telephone number here, okay? So there is a telephone number here. Not every property has a telephone number, but if it does, you are going to be able to find that telephone number here, okay? You probably want to take this telephone number and make sure that they are not in the do not call list, to make sure that you don't, you're not invading their privacy, or you're not calling them and they don't really want to receive any calls, but you are going to find a telephone number here. You are going to see the value information. So 5 years back, on the value information for the property, you have some sales information for the property. So here you are going to find, information like the owner or the grantor for the property. You are going to see when it was recorded. You are going to see the price amount here. You have some information here back a couple of years, all the way from the beginning here, right? Oh, 22,000. Where was I?
I don't think you were born, Alex. In 1968, no, Alex, no.
I wasn't. Unfortunately, I wasn't. And then you have the building information here. And another thing that we love here is the assigned schools. You are going to see the school rating and the distance from this property. Okay. Any questions about the information that we are seeing here?
Well, the school guys, everybody watching, the school data is huge because you get, that's a question that I know a lot of you get asked. How far am I going to be from the school? Because they got to drive to drop off the kids and they way to work. So yeah, this helps you when you're looking at the MLS search. You cross-reference with IMAP immediately, and you can eliminate a lot of properties, because if you're buying something that is a 7-mile drive opposite direction from where they want the school, why are you going to show that property? Because they're telling you, hey, I want to leave, drive, drop them off, and keep going. So that's a great tip right there.
Yeah, and it's very important that, you know, we also know the difference between the assigned schools or the closest schools. This is the assigned school for this particular property. It doesn't mean that it's the closest school to this property, because sometimes the school could be close, but it's not the assigned school for that particular property or that particular area. So you probably want to also, you know.
That one, if you notice, it says even Alex, that's a magnet school. It even says the high school
Yeah.
is a magnet high school.
All right. So one of the things I want to show you here as well is, yes, we are good with time. Perfect. So
Yeah,
finding a comparable. So another really cool tool here is that you have the ability of saying, okay, you know what? I want to find a comparables for this property, and you only have to click here once, and you are going to start seeing some information. Now, there you go. You are going to start seeing some information here. Notice that you have a map here with a lot of properties around the area. Notice that you have the information of your subject property here. If I keep going down, it's going to give me like, it's going to tell me an estimated price for the property. But then I have a lot of properties here. I have a bunch of properties here. I have 30 properties. I don't need 30 properties to create a comparable. I don't need 30 properties to create a comparable. Why do I have so many? Because here on my comparison criteria, I need to update this criteria. I need to make sure that I'm entering the right information. So let's go over a couple of them. So let's say living area, you know, some people use 20%. I try to use 10% just because I don't want the property to be too big or too small to my subject property. So I always try to use 10%. So as soon as I hit the 10%, automatically I get what? Now I have 27.
You narrow the filter, it begin to fall off.
I narrow the filter. So do I really want it to be a mile away when I have 27 property? No, let me just narrow it down to half a mile, right? And if you look at the map, you know, I have less properties now. So I have half a mile sold in, let's do 6 months. So now I have 7 properties here. So it's getting better. Now, I run through this situation where people tell me, Alex, but I have 7, it's too many. I want to narrow it down all the way to 3 properties. I always say in my CMA workshop class, I have a CMA workshop class that I do where, you know, I let everybody know that, you know, if you narrow it down all the way to 3 properties, then you don't really have where to select. You don't really have where to choose from, right? So, but the moment that I have 7, 8, 9 properties, now I would say, well, you know what? Let me look at these 7 properties and see which one which one are the best fit for my subject property. Okay.
This keeps getting better, by the way. I thought you had hit it out of the ballpark, but this keeps getting better. So go ahead.
So here, right, I'm able to say, well, you know what, you know, and only you know your area, only you know your subdivision, you know what is better for your properties.
You know, you have the subject property. You walk the subject property. So you gotta find things that truly compare in conditions, layout. You know, so yeah.
Exactly. And one of the things, now that you were talking about a couple of things before, one of the things that I love about IMAP as well is that you see that you notice this R means that it was sold by a realtor, right? There are some properties like this one that does not have an R. That means that it was sold by the owner. One of the great things about IMAP is that you have the ability of viewing properties that were sold by owner and properties that were sold by the realtors. If you create a CMA in Matrix, you're only going to see properties that were sold by a realtor's property that was sold in the MLS. Okay. I have a question here.
For everybody watching, every time I get close to the screen, I'm going to say something important. Look at the sales prices of properties sold by professionals like all of you watching this today. And look at the price of that by owner. That by owner sold for $130,000 less than what he would have sold by working with a professional like you guys.
Yep. And you definitely want to point things like this out. You definitely want to see things like this, you know, what happened, why this property sold less. You know, they didn't use a realtor, so they didn't have a professional backing them up. Okay. So yeah, let's say I'm just going to use the first 4 properties, let's say, right? Now I have 4 properties here. I think that my CMA is pretty good. I go through my properties. I see, you know, there is a projected sale price here that I could sell my property. Now I have the ability of saving this PDF emailing this page to, you know, my client, or emailing it to myself, or print this page. Now, in Matrix, if you decide to create a CMA in Matrix, and now you say, well, I also want to create a CMA in IMAP to see what's the difference, you have the ability of saying here in IMAP, well, let me save this page as a PDF, and let me upload this page into my Matrix CMA. Okay, you have the ability of doing that, uploading this page, this CMA completely. You have the ability of uploading this CMA into your Matrix CMA. Okay, I'll show you. If you email me or anything, I'll show you how to do it. I could show you, I could send you step by step on how to upload a page into Matrix. All right, any questions about the CMA before I move on?
Nope. So one thing that I've been asked before, and I'm gonna see if you can correct me if I'm wrong. Estimated range based on value ratio. That is an algorithm based on the ones we selected, and determines it places certain value based on day close and distance, and that's how it determines the value. Versus the other one that is literally square footage by square footage. So you really got to look at the conditions to determine, you know, if 352 is the actual value of your subject property. Am I off the wagon there, or?
No. You are good. You are good.
Okay.
All right. So what else we have here that I could show you here? Well, the other things are really like demographics, maps, driving direction. This is something that you could find on your phone. Google Maps, you could find that on the phone. RPR. RPR is also a great tool to create comparisons. This is an entire 2-hour class, but if I don't know if you guys use RPR before. RPR, the graphs, the pictures, the colors, you know, the information is really amazing. And RPR combines the information of the MLS platform with the county records. All right. So let me go back to a new search here, and I think there's a couple of questions here.
One was asking, it's based on, you know, COVID, if they should do 3-month sales versus 6-month sales. And I'm saying, no, look at 6 months, you know, follow Alex's guidance, follow, you know, narrow down, break down every house, and you can keep the ones that you want. Don't end up with 3, because I agree with Alex. If you end up with 3 comps, you don't have comps. You have, Alex, is there a way to reverse engineer a search that by a school zone, or you got to do a map search, pull your point, you drop your pin at the school and go from there?
Yes, there's no way of searching by a specific school district or school zone. You have to create a search using the map. But for that, you have to see, you have to look at the map and see the area that is covered by that particular school. But there's
if you guys Google a specific school and Google map boundaries, it will give you the boundaries of the school. The thing is that schools don't have a radius.
Right.
It's literally, like, you know.
Somebody else said, I see realtors use square feet to do CMA. Is that a good option? You know, I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I'll tell you, at the beginning, I didn't feel that it was a good option. But as I learned, I understood that sometimes, yes, it's a good option, because I don't know if it happened to you before, but sometimes there is properties, I don't want to single out any particular location, but there's sometimes properties where the properties around the neighborhood are 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. But then you find properties with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. With the same square feet, you find properties with 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, or 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. I'm like,
I know what you're talking about, but I won't say the name of the city either.
So, you know, and well, my thinking was, well, how do they have 6 bedrooms in 1,200 square feet? You know, so sometimes what we do is that, you know what, let's use the square feet. And my suggestion to you is that when you are using the square feet, if your property is 1,500 square feet, use 10% more and 10% less, or 15% more, 15% less of your square feet. That way you could find true properties in that area to compare to your subject. Okay, I hope that answered your questions.
Yes. So if you do a search on a Broward County property, I'm going to show you something that you may know or you may not know. If you can
okay,
maybe the same address that you had.
Let's do that right now.
because sometimes Google Earth, it's not the best view of a house. So
True.
if you click on the tax ID on the top left corner, it takes you to the county records, and you go to photographs, top, and
There
the
you
county takes a picture and it stamps it when it was the last time they took a picture of the house. So you have because like sometimes Google Earth, on this house, for some reason they haven't been there in a while. But
Right,
county,
right.
I mean, the county driver has been getting lost, I guess, because they're supposed to take every year 2 pictures of a house.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it gives you, because Google sometimes is up to date, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But this time, I think the Google is going to be better than the county driver.
All right, so let me go back to creating a new search here. Now, so we did tax search. I'm going to go into MLS search here. See, okay. So I'm going to go into MLS search, and so you already know what is the MLS. You already know, how to search in the MLS. I'm going to show you something that you can't do in the MLS versus trying to show you something that you already know. Okay. So let's say I want to find properties that are expired in a particular area, but they haven't been relisted. So this property expired and they are not listed. They are currently not active in the MLS. Nobody ever relisted these properties, right? Now, let's say I'm going to enter a zip code. I'm going to find a zip code here. I'm just going to do a particular zip code here. Ernesto, give me a zip code that you want me to use.
33331.
33331, right?
Yes.
And now I want to find, let me use this one, listing status. Here you go. So I went to a zip code and I did listing status. Under listing status, I'm going to select the one that says expired, not relisted. What happened? Why are you smiling?
Because that's gold.
Right?
In a market like this one that we're down to 2 months of inventory, this is gold.
It is. It is. And you hit start search. It's very simple. It's very easy. Let me go back. Why is my internet not working? It is working. Okay. So let's do that again. So listing status, I'm going to do expired, not relisted, and I'm going to do zip code 33331 and search. There you go. And in this particular zip code, 33331, we have 322 properties that at some point they were listed in the MLS and they are currently not listed. They are currently not active. So this potential client, at some point they wanted to sell their property and they expired. So these are potential properties. These are potential clients that you could target in a particular area to be able to list this property. Okay. Any questions on that?
So guys, can you realign that by instead of sort them by, because I want them to see it. You can sort that by expiration date.
By expiration date?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Result there. So no, little left.
Left.
Right there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So you can.
Yeah, definitely.
So then you can get that. You can sort that out if you're farming an area. If you're saying 33331 is gonna be my farm, you can have this search pulled, and that way you have who listed, who didn't sell. Does it have sort by?
No, only by the list date. So maybe we could do list date, right?
Yeah, that should work.
List ending.
There you go. Ta-da! So there you have every house that was listed in 2019 and 2020 that was expired, and they never relisted. They're just waiting for you to knock on the door.
Yeah, I was gonna do the same thing. They're just waiting for you to just knock on that door.
Yep.
This is amazing. This here is amazing. And you can download the results, download the result, or you could create mailing labels. Alex, you know what? I don't want to drive all the way over there. I just want to send them a letter. I would just say the easiest way will be, And one of the most effective ways is just knocking on the door. You know, how many times you receive a letter or an email and you say, well, I'll read it later. You know, so the most effective way, I would say, you know, you go ahead and knock on that door. You can save this search, you could refine the search, you could create mailing labels if that's what you wish for. You create mailing labels and you are going to be here. You could do the address or owner name and owner address, owner name, owner property address. You could replace it if you wish to. And you can create your labels here.
Yeah, and remember, you got the Avery number, guys. If you're watching this, that's the different labels that you can buy. So, and it's not that complicated. Walk into any Office Depot and you said, I need the Avery 5160. And ta-da, you get a box of that. So it's very simple. For everybody watching that is a Canvas agent, every Tuesday and Thursday, we practice prospecting. I call it phone calling. It's not cold calling, it's phone calling. So if I'm with Alex, you know, you got to be a little bit aggressive in this industry.
Yeah.
Mail works, but mail, you got to be repetitive and you have to stand out from everybody else mail piece.
Definitely.
But the best way is
calling. Be aggressive.
Yep.
Be aggressive. All right, so going back here, to another search.
There was one question that someone asked, and I want to get your take on it. They're asking if in comparables, if in a subdivision there has been no sales in the past 6 months, do I expand my radius or do I go back to a year?
I've seen comparable going back to a year. I would say, you know, in that scenario, you probably want to adjust, you know, how much the property went up in the past 6 months or in the past 9 months, or from that last year that it sold, did this property went up in value, you know, how many percent every month, or how many percent every 3 months? And you probably want to adjust that value. I would say that, because the thing is that when you go, one of the crazy things about Dade, especially Dade, sometimes you cross the street to another, and the price went from 400,000 to $1 million by crossing one single street.
Red Road, you cross west of Red Road is one price and east of Red Road is another price.
Right. So, you know, if you try to go to a mile or a mile and a half or 2 miles, you're probably going to jump into another subdivision. You're probably going to jump into another city or another zip code, and the price will be totally different. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that you can't, but you want to be very careful when you do.
I think change the parameters on. First, I would change the size to 20%. If you still do not come across nothing, change the lot size to, you know, to get everything that has a different lot size, and adjust by the land. You know, I would like to play with those figures and adjust those down before going further out. And I rather you go a mile out than go a year out.
Yeah.
What sold last June is not going to compare to what sold this June.
It's not the same.
So, you know, try to play with those parameters first, change your filters, see if you get a result. And if you still need 1 or 2 more, maybe expand the search, but be very thorough, or the ones that are outside a half a mile. And the worst case scenario, then go out a mile, a year, because if you go out a year, if it's a government-backed loan, Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie, they're not going to look at something that sold in January 2019. If you
definitely.
So I have comps from 2019, January 2019, they're going to look at you and say no.
Yeah, and it's hard to adjust something that sold a year back, you know. So definitely, yep. All right, so the last search that we are going to do is foreclosure search. So you already know how to do some search here. So let me change this to Broward County. All right. Now, let's say I want to search for list pendants, right? I want to search for list pendants. I want to see what's going on in this area. You know, maybe I could, you know, talk to this potential client or customers to see what's going on with their property. How can I help them? you know, with this property. So first, I'm gonna do zip code, being that's the easiest thing to do here will be zip code. Where is property zip code here? City zip code, there you go.
33027.
33027. Oh, I already have property zip code here. And let's say I'm supposed to have something that says list pendants. There you go. And then I hit yes. So I did property zip code and I did list pendants. That's the only thing I did. And I hit search. And I hit, oh, there you go. Oh. Let's see, property zip code equal to, I have another one here. Let's see this one. 33327, let's pendant yes, search. There you go. 91 properties. 91 properties here. So Ernesto, what can we do? What can we do with list pendants? What can they do with list pendants?
So for those listening, list pendants is the case was, and I don't know if this one we can arrange by date. List pendants is when the case was just filed. So it's the cases that you have the most time to negotiate a short sale. For example, this house, 16708 Southwest 39th Street, that case was just filed like 2 days ago, right?
Oh.
So that is a property that is under foreclosure. The bank has began the proceeding of foreclosure from that date till the day that the court takes, that the foreclosure takes place. If they're not represented and they just ignore it, that process is going to take about 6 months. So you have the opportunity to list this property and sell it as a short sale. Because they're now past due. Alex, can you do me one favor? Because I want to show them one trick. Can you click on the parcel ID of the property?
A proper ID?
No, the parcel ID.
Here you go. Parcel ID.
Let's go to the property really quick.
Huh? Telephone number.
There you go. Haha. Scroll down. Scroll down a tad. I guess I only shows the original. Okay. Can you run me comps really quick?
Sure.
And this is a different class that we can do another day.
Go down.
Yeah, no, to narrow it to something half a mile, 6 months.
There you go. I got 6.
You got 6. No, you got to take out number 1 because number 1. So perfect example what Alex was saying. That is half a mile. Go back to the map, Alex.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah.
Is it? Nope, that property, you see, it's on the west side of 172nd. That's a whole different neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
A whole different lot sizes, everything together. So if you keep that in there, it throws off your thing.
Yeah.
All right, for everybody listening on that property that they're being foreclosed on, I mean, there's a way that, we can do a class and show you what is a mortgage balance. But that house will sell all day long between 450 and 500. If their mortgage balance is less than 400, this is not a short sale. There's equity, but a lot of people don't know that there's an option out even if you're past due 6 payments, because by the bank to file, they're past due 6 payments. But that's a whole other class we can do another day. But Alex just took you to a listing opportunity live for all of you watching.
And if you email me or text me a particular area, here at Stuart Title, we have a tool that we use for all of our clients. If you email me or text me like an address, I could send you a list of probably like 100 properties that have equity around that property. Okay, so in case you want that information, you could also, email me or text me for that.
Good.
Or call me. All right, so that's basically it. Let me go back to the homepage here. So we have 2 minutes. So does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Somebody please send me your contacts. Okay, I'm gonna send you my contact right now. Any questions? Questions, comments, concerns? We have 2 minutes. and I'm all yours.
And that REO search, they were asking if you can put multiple zip codes by a, separated by a comma.
You could enter multiple zip codes, yes. You can't by a comma. Let's see, yeah. 33327. Let me do search. No, let me just do a little bit more.
List pendants like you were doing before.
Boom. Equal to? No, I'll say, I don't think it's gonna let me search like that. I'll say that you have to, you have to just change this to another property zip code here, you see? And instead of doing a comma here, just do another zip code here. You see that? Again,
but I mean,
property zip code.
I mean, everybody can work in whatever way they want to work, but I think it'll be easier if you save a couple, because you can export all of this to Excel.
Yes.
Right. You can export all this to Excel. So do a search per zip code, because the results are going to be huge. And you only want, people that have been filed about 6 months. You don't want to go further back than 6 months. So I will do it one zip code at a time, just so you're not overwhelmed.
Definitely. All right, so that's it for today. So again, my name is Alex, and if you guys, you can text me. My telephone number is 305-399-2098. My email is alex.henry, Henry, alex.henry@stewart.com. You can also email me, and we can have a talk.
Y Alex habla español, así que no le pueden preguntar en español lo que quieran también.
Oh, sí, yo también hablo español. Se me olvidó. I forgot to speak Spanish.
Alex, thank you so very, very much. I know this was a lot of data that we covered. This is being recorded as we speak. It's going to be reposted, reshare, so you can watch it and rewatch it. And Alex has been agree to at least once a month he'll do one of these webinars, and as soon as we can do them in person, we'll be more than happy to say in a safely manner. We'll be more than happy to have Alex come over and do one of them in person. I want to thank everybody that has watching and everybody that hit share on that button so we can make Alex go viral today on Friday. Mi amigo, muchísimas gracias.
De nada, gracias. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
You too, guys. Bye.